look at another example, another problem in which tourist or any tour guide want to move from one city to another city of this country, and this is the map of Romania country, uh, and we can say that traveling salesman want to move from one city to another city, and we should specify the initial state, and as well as we should specify the goal state. सो हमें अगर इनिशियल स्टेट का पता हो और इसी तरह से हमें फाइनल स्टेट का पता हो, देन we can move from one city to another city, from initial state to another state. For example, if I mark the Arid as an initial state, so and Bucharest is our final state, so how we can move from this initial state to Bucharest. So the value of these values, 140 represents the cost or the distance between these two cities. So actually this is the cost of our action. And look at this, this is a very interesting problem. We will also discuss during our problem solving by search technique problems topic. so इस तरह से कि हम इसकी ज़रा देख लेते हैं फॉर्मूलेशन, प्रॉब्लम फॉर्मूलेशन, और उसके साथ साथ जिस तरह से हमने बात की थी कि we can represent this our problem into a tree, and we will watch a we will discuss a tree, we will see a tree for this problem. So look at the problem formulation. The initial state is arid, and how can we write this initial state? The ion into arid, so we can write our initial state in this form. And the what are the actions for this state? So just look at this position. We can move towards the city Zirend, so we can move towards the city T, and we can move from A to S. So there are three different actions for our initial state. So look at the actions. How can we write? This is a new form to write our actions. Go to S, go to T, go to Z. So these are the actions for our initial state. So look at the transition model. How can we write the transition model? Specify by a function that result of SA that returns the state that results from doing any action A, where A is represents any action. And what are the actions? There are three different actions for this state, and the newly created state, SS is a state. So we what is the state? And if we are going to city Z, so this is the state, and our action is Z, and our state is initial state. Where is the location of currently where the our agent present at this location, that will be the our current state. So initially वो arid के ऊपर है, तो यहाँ पे हमारी state बन जाएगी. So the Z will be the our action. So हम इन तीन में से जा सकते थे. We will go towards the Z. So our resultant state will be and how we can represent this state, and in, यानी कि इसको हम इस तरह से लिख सकते हैं. ये हमारा एक transition model है. If we move from A to Z, so if we move towards from this city to Z, and हम किस तरह से जा सकते हैं. So ये हमारे पास कुछ ट्रांजिशन मॉडल आ जाएगा. And the path is a state space is a sequence of state connected by a sequence of actions. So वो हमारे पास sequence of actions से हमारे पास जो states होती हैं उनको हम connect कर दें, तो हमारे पास path बन जाता है. तो goal test, and we will determines whether न्यूली क्रिएटेड स्टेट इज आवर बुचारेस्ट। तो हम देखेंगे कि हम हमारे पास जो स्टेट जनरेट हो रही है वो इस तरह से है या नहीं। अगर इस तरह से है वो हमारे पास गोल बन जाएगा। So at last we will study about the path cost. A path cost is a function that assign a numerical cost to each path. So in this problem, to calculate the path cost is a very easy way to calculate. So because we have a distance between these two cities, between each city, so we can between the two cities between हम क्या कर सकते हैं, इनका हम पाथ कैलकुलेट कर सकते हैं, टोटल कॉस्ट कैलकुलेट कर सकते हैं। सो ये थी हमारी प्रॉब्लम फॉर्मुलेशन। हमने ये बात की थी कि हाउ वी कैन रिप्रेजेंट एनी प्रॉब्लम in the form of a tree. So we can hopefully you can understand that we can represent this problem in the form of a tree. So look at this figure. So here is the A, this is the initial state. So uh, the next possible action, then we will check whether A is our goal or not. If this is not our goal, so then we can move towards these states. So then we can move towards Z, then we can also move towards Z. So these three are these all of three are our actions at this location, at this state, and our transition model will select the where we are going to move towards the any state. So हमारा ट्रांजिशन मॉडल जो है वो हमें बताता है कि वो हमें किस तरफ जाना है। तो यहाँ पे हम क्या करते हैं, if we are moving towards the S, so at this location S, just look at the diagram of this figure. If we are at this location, so हम किस तरफ मूव कर सकते हैं, we can move towards the F, we can move towards the R, we can also move towards the O, and in the same way we can also move towards the A. So there are 4 possible actions for this state. So for each step we will calculate the problem formulation in this way. So हमारे पास जो है वो क्या बन जाएगा, हमारे पास actions बनेंगे, then हमारे पास जो है वो 4 पॉसिबल ये इस तरह से एक्शन बन जाएंगे। तो इसी तरह से if we move towards the T, then देखेंगे हमारे पास ये T के अंदर क्या चिल्ड्रंस इसके आते हैं। इन द सेम वे इफ वी आर गोइंग टू मूव टुवर्ड्स द Z डायरेक्शन, सो हम इस तरफ भी हम जा सकते हैं, हम देख सकते हैं। तो जस्ट देखें कि हमने क्या किया, हमने इस प्रॉब्लम को एक ट्री रिप्रेजेंटेशन में हमने रिप्रेजेंट किया। So in our this lecture we discuss we discussed some problems and the problem formulation for these problems. So we talked about the 8 queens problem and the problem formulation. We also discussed the possible sequences for this problem and the toy problem. We discussed about the total number of word states. So and we also discussed the formula for the total number of states and the concept of optimal solution. So the optimal solution is the lowest cost if there are multiple solution, if any solution returns the path which have the lowest cost. So then this is very important, we also discussed this important concept that how can we represent any problem in the form of a tree. So we can represent any state in the form of node, and the edge will represents the actions. So we हमने इसको थोड़ा सा ये ट्री हमारा एक किस्म का हमने इसको कंसीडर किया. Then we discussed this problem, the map of Romania country, and if we are going to move from A city to B city, added to Bucharest. So we discuss the problem formulation and the how can we write our problem formulation in a specific form. So हम इस तरह से इसको लिख सकते हैं. Then how can we convert this problem in the form of a tree. So at the end we watch this formulation and this representation. So hopefully आपने in इस lecture को enjoy किया होगा. So if you have any question, you can send me an email. Inshallah I will reply your questions. Thank you. Allah Hafiz.